6 modules have built the foundation: the structured process that makes discovery repeatable, the judgment layer that makes quality visible, and the human foundation underneath both, the capabilities that no process can substitute for, active at every stage. This module introduces the optional third layer. Optional is a precise word. It is not optional if you want to, in the sense that anything can be skipped. It is optional in the sense that it only works when what sits beneath it is real. That condition is the entire point of Module 7. Module 1 told the story of the factories that gained nothing. They installed the motors. They had the technology, and productivity did not improve. What did the factories that compounded gains have that the ones that gained nothing lacked? The factories that gained decades of compounded productivity had redesigned the floor. Not just the power source, the entire operation, built around what electricity made possible. The ones that gained nothing installed a motor and changed nothing else. Same technology, different conditions, completely different outcomes. That is exactly what this slide is describing. The AI partnership layer sits at the top of the DJF architecture. It works when the two foundational layers and the human foundation beneath them are genuinely in place, not as labels, but as real capabilities. Without them, AI accelerates the activity without improving the outcome. With them, it amplifies judgment that is already being exercised well. The order is not aesthetic, it is functional. This is the electricity lesson applied to AI. We return to the factories because the lesson compounds when you see it twice. A team running discovery with AI but without structured process generates faster synthesis of a poorly framed question. A team with structured process but without the judgment layer uses AI to produce clean-looking artifacts where the judgments inside them were never examined. A team with both layers in place but without the human foundation, without the courage to say, "I was wrong," without the self-awareness to notice when their assumptions are doing the work of evidence, uses AI to produce confident-sounding output that no one is willing to question. In all 3 cases, the tool is powerful, the conditions are missing. The DJF is the redesigned floor. Add AI once the foundations are real and the returns are genuine. The division is fundamental, not tactical. AI is a prediction technology. Pattern recognition, synthesis, generation, volume, these are prediction tasks. AI processes what is present in the data and predicts what is consistent with it. The better AI gets, the cheaper prediction becomes. And when something gets cheaper, value shifts to whatever that thing depends on to be useful. Prediction in discovery depends on judgment to matter. AI can process what 13 interview subjects said. It cannot determine what those patterns mean for this problem, for this team, with these trade-offs, for these users in this context. It can surface recurring themes. It cannot assess whether one of those themes reflects genuine unmet need or recruitment bias. It can draft a job statement. It cannot weigh whether the framing is honest. Prediction of judgment is not judgment. Apply the volume versus judgment test before every AI task. Is this processing or is this thinking? Assign accordingly. 3-mode structure. What the partnership looks like in practice. They are a gradient, not a hierarchy, and activities often move through all 3. Automate. AI completes the processing and you verify the output. This is where AI is most powerful and lowest risk. Transcript clustering, sentiment analysis, competitive research summaries. The work has well-defined patterns, the output can be checked against source, and the judgment step is yours. What does this mean? Augment. AI assists creation while you remain in the loop throughout. Draft a job statement. Ask AI for alternatives, select and refine. Your judgment shapes the output at every step. Coach. AI prompts reflection rather than producing output. Before a gate decision, what would change your confidence in this problem framing? You do the thinking. AI makes sure you are thinking about the right things. The rule that holds across all three modes, defining the scope and making the final call remain human. Clarity about who is doing what at each moment is not bureaucracy. It is how the partnership stays accountable. The three modes describe what the partnership looks like when it is working. These three patterns describe what it looks like when it breaks, and they are predictable, which means they are preventable. The first failure. AI defines the scope. The team asks AI what to focus on and accepts the answer without exercising their own judgment about whether that framing is correct. Define is always human. The second failure. AI makes the call. AI recommends a direction, a solution, a conclusion, and the team proceeds without anyone owning the decision. Decide is always human, not because AI is unreliable, because accountability cannot be delegated. The third failure, no verification. AI synthesis is treated as source material. Patterns go unchecked against the transcripts that produced them. Conclusions accepted without asking. Is this actually what the evidence shows? When the partnership breaks in these ways, it produces the same amount of processing with no judgment behind it. That is not an acceleration failure. That is a judgment abdication. This is not a caution for when stakes are high. It is a standing practice for every AI output every time. AI presents fabrications with the same confidence as accurate information, not because it is trying to deceive, but because it has no uncertainty signal to offer. It cannot tell you, I am less sure about this one. Everything comes back in the same register. One team discovered their AI synthesis had attributed the opposite position to an interviewee. The AI had pattern matched from other interviews and assumed consistency. The attribution looked plausible. The transcript said the opposite. If they had not verified, they would have built on fiction, job stories, problem statements, a build recommendation, all grounded in something that did not happen. Spot check every synthesis against source material. Verify quotes against transcripts. Make "I checked this" a habit, not an admission of distrust. The speed advantage AI offers is real. It evaporates the moment an unverified fabrication travels into a decision. Readiness is not a threshold you cross. It is a sequence you move through. You do not wait until everything is perfect before engaging AI in discovery. You start where you are, with appropriate scope, and build from there. Start with processing. Use AI for synthesis first, where risk is low and the value is immediately visible. Keep all judgment explicitly human and make the boundary clear to everyone on the team. Let people verify AI output thoroughly at first, even if verification takes longer than doing the work manually. This builds the skepticism that makes the partnership healthy. Celebrate when humans override AI output. It shows the judgment layer is working. And when something goes wrong, do not blame the tool. Ask whether define and decide stayed human. Ask whether verification happened. Ask whether judgment remained human throughout. The handbook carries the activity level detail for AI partnership at every stage. Chapter 14 is where the partnership becomes practice. 3 layers complete. The structured process that makes discovery repeatable. The judgment layer that makes quality visible. The human foundation that makes both real. And now the optional third layer that accelerates all of it when the foundations are in place. The reflection question is practical, not philosophical. Where are you on the readiness gradient right now? If the foundations are not yet in place, the answer is, name the first gap to close. If they are, the answer is, name the first processing task worth handing off. Either answer moves you forward. Module 8 is where we begin.